The world in his eyes. Part 1. The small circle. There are confessions of love that don't use the word love. Just a gaze long enough, a step complete enough, and a person sensitive enough to recognize it. Ava stood under the quietly falling Sakura canopy. The petals floated gently, clinging to her hair like fragments of memories about to begin. 3 boys stood before her, each carrying a different kind of look. Confidence, passion, and silence. All 3 boyfriends loved her. She knew that, and frankly accepted it with a gentle smile, like the March breeze. After you all take a trip around the world and come back, I will give you my answer. Michael smiled brightly, the guy of journeys, of landscape photos around the globe. Hudson, his eyes betraying his desire, immediately made plans to explore the world and expand his influence. As for Thomas, he said nothing. He just quietly walked slowly around Ava. The Earth can rotate once every 24 hours, but that circle took less than a minute. When he stopped, Thomas smiled. Not brightly, nor imposing, just gently, and deeply enough to make her heart skip a beat. You are my world. Ava remained still. In that moment, the seemingly meaningless wind swept fallen petals around his feet. An innocent circle, yet full of meaning. She felt as if someone had just drawn a soft line around her heart. But she remained silent. No one knew the heavy things in her heart at that moment. Because love is not just a feeling, but also a choice. And sometimes, what moves a beautiful girl is not what makes her choose to stay for a lifetime. Ava looked into the distance, where sunlight filtered through the trees. There were bigger roads, wider worlds. I will wait for you all to come back. The words drifted in the wind. No one could clearly hear her true feelings, not even herself. The world's choice. She didn't choose the small circle. She chose the direct flight to distant skies. 3 years later, the city has transformed, its rhythm shifting through the changing seasons. Ava has changed too. Longer hair, more expensive dresses, and steps growing increasingly confident and proud. Michael returned earlier, bringing with him journeys through Europe and America, along with fairy tale-like footage. He hugged her, showing a photo taken in Santorini, where the sunset glowed red like a promise. She smiled, but her eyes didn't linger for long. Hudson returned later, carrying cold, sharp eyes, telling numbers, and an invitation. I want to build an empire with you. She lifted her head. The world he brought, wealthy, calm, full of promise, what she had once dreamed of. As for Thomas, nothing has changed. His small art studio still lies quietly beside the windless slope. He doesn't go anywhere. He just paints. Paintings named Ava, the name of the wind, the names of things that once were but no longer are. The day she walked in, he was still sitting by the window, the smell of watercolor mixed with the scent of the afternoon sun. Ava, are you really not going anywhere? Thomas, no, I've already taken a round. Ava, softly, around me? Thomas, nodding. And you're still here. She stood silently. Her hand touched the old picture frame, a portrait with an unclear face, only the figure within a circle of wind. Ava, I have to make a decision now, don't I? He was silent. Inside, something was flowing backward. Ava, Hudson gave me a world I can touch. I don't know if it's love, but I know it will be stable. Thomas, voice deep, as light as thin paper. I understand. She turned away. No hug, no goodbye, just leaving a very faint scent in the wind. That night, he folded the painting. That painting, it was not her, but a circle that had never closed. He was pensive, thoughtful, and restless. To be continue. The world in his eyes. Part 2. The letter with no recipient. She turned away. No hug, no goodbye, just left a very faint scent in the wind. That night he folded the painting. That painting, it was not her, but a circle that had never closed. Thomas pondered, reflected, and stayed awake. Someone asked me, if I could go back to that moment, would I still go around her? I answered, yes, but this time, I will not stop. I don't write letters hoping for a reply. I write just so my heart won't be too silent. Night falls like ink. In the small art room on the hill, the yellow light casts a gentle glow on the white paper like a sigh. Thomas pours a cup of tea, then sits down. In front of him is the letter. The first line was written last autumn, but he never had the courage to finish it. He takes a pen, writes, as if whispering to someone far away. Ava, I think people no longer write handwritten letters, but I still write, because my hands are not used to typing, they are used to drawing, and to preserving what cannot be spoken. You have made your choice, I understand. And perhaps from the beginning, I already knew I would not be chosen. It's just that I still hoped, I still clearly remember that day. You stood amidst falling flowers, your eyes shimmering, then said, after you guys travel around the world, I didn't have enough plane tickets, nor did I have a dream called a map. I only had a journey around you, and the courage to call that the whole world. But you did not choose that circle. You chose the longer path, one with a destination, ambition, and results. I do not blame you, because if given the choice again, I would still take a journey around you, even knowing that afterward I would stand still forever. There are worlds where even without traveling, we can still lose each other. If you receive this letter, do not reply. Just know this. Somewhere, there is still someone who draws you from memory and writes your name in the spaces between. He folded the letter, gently put it into the envelope, then sealed it tight. He did not write the address, because he knew you no longer lived in this world. Or more precisely, you never had. Thomas, thoughtful. Perhaps, there are loves not meant to reach the destination. They are just a journey, and I will always be the one walking alone in it. When the old world returns, not everyone who leaves is lost. Not everyone who returns remains. One early winter afternoon, as the wind blew through the old window frame, Thomas sat in the studio drawing an uneven circle. The pencil slipped from his hand. He couldn't finish it. The letter still lay quietly in the drawer, neither sent nor opened, like emotions that had been folded away, but never disappeared. Then one day, someone knocked on the door. Not a guest, nor someone ordering a painting. It was Ava, not the Ava from 3 years ago. Silk dress, perfume, proud gaze. A different Ava, simple, worn out, and tired. In her eyes, there were no dreams left, only the shadows of the past. Ava, you still keep the painting? Thomas, surprised, but his voice was still the same, warm and gentle. Yeah. Some things can't be repainted. She smiled, a smile as faint as an old song. Ava, I'm divorced. He didn't react, just bowed his head and poured more water. Ava, I once thought I made the right choice, because back then, I needed a stable world. But then I realized the wider the world, the colder it is. Thomas was silent. He didn't intervene. He wasn't the one who came to save. He was just the one who stayed. Ava, looking at him for a long time. If now, I want one more hug. Is that okay? A question that seemed simple, but for Thomas, it was the alarm that awakened all the cracks he had sealed for years. He stood up, opened to the drawer, took out an old envelope with no recipient's name, Thomas. I wrote it from the day you left. Didn't send it, didn't dare. She held the letter, slightly trembling. Ava, why? Thomas, because I know that world will never come back. She put the letter down. Her eyes were not sad, but not happy either. They were the eyes of someone who had lost, who had regretted, and now clearly understood. Not everything that returns can start over. Ava, so you don't want me anymore? Thomas looked at her. His eyes held no blame, only a final tenderness. Thomas, I have never wanted to have. I only ever wanted to be beside. But today, I am no longer the man I used to be. And you are no longer my world." She nodded, tears falling. But she did not burst into tears, because she knew. This time, she was the one stepping out of the circle. That afternoon, it was lightly raining. Ava walked down the slope, tightly holding the worn sweater. In the art room, Tu took a new sheet of paper. This time, he redrew the circle, not reserved for anyone, just to complete it. Thomas, a world that once was everything, now is just a closed pencil line. No pain, no sadness, just gone. Another circle begins. When one circle closes, sometimes it's not to end, but to start a new circle, no one is the center. There are just two people stepping together. Spring returns. The gallery has been repainted, airier, brighter. No longer just paintings of a girl standing in the wind. Now there are new scenes. The beach, hills, a wooden chair overlooking the lake. Thomas still paints, but no longer to remember. Instead, to live. One afternoon, a little girl, short hair, carrying a backpack, stopped by. Little girl. "Hello, I saw this place from afar. Do you accept students?" Thomas smiled. A genuine smile. Not because someone returned, but because someone else had just arrived. Thomas. "Yes, but you have to accept the distorted circles." The girl smiled. The girl. "I'm not good at drawing, but I like imperfect curves. They're like humans." Thomas looked at her, not to compare. It was just that his gaze lingered a little longer, as if his heart had just taken a new breath. That night, he took another drawing sheet. Not drawing a circle, but two curves, gradually touching each other. Not round, not even, but moving in the same direction. Thomas. This time, no one is the center, no one is chosen, just two people choosing each other. Another circle, imperfect but whole. The story ends here. Please support by liking and subscribing. Thank you.